Hello, I'm Dr. Gareth Moore and I'm a puzzle and brain training author, but in this video I'm not writing puzzle, I'm solving this. The Exit the Game calendar for 2023, the Advent calendar I should say, the Silent Storm. Today is day 7. So we'll start as always by having a look at the story. Now hopefully we won't need the hints and solutions. I'll need a decode a little later, which is how we work out where our next door on the calendar is, because they're all unlabelled. Now, apparently I've accidentally detached this. I'm not entirely sure. Whoops, already. I'm not entirely sure how. I think I had trouble tying out yesterday, so perhaps I was a bit too violent. Anyway, this tells us the story for the today. So, after the murky archive, that's yesterday's room it's referring to, you're hoping for a little more colour and brightness in the next room. And indeed, it looks like there was quite a bit. But it doesn't look like your wish will be fulfilled. Okay, where are you now? You've never seen this room before. Where could it be? A museum? A gallery? Large heavy paintings hang on the walls. You're not an art connoisseur, but you'd see that some of them are of great value. Why does Santa Claus keep this secret? But it slowly becomes clear to you why. Anyway, it turns out it's a family portrait of Santa Claus's family, but they were all mean and horrible and didn't like Christmas. That's very unlucky, isn't it? Stinginess, vanity, and aversion to games of any kind. Oh my goodness. Basic Christmas denial. They all seem to have shown a nasty side, except for Aunt Erna. Unsurprisingly then, he has hidden this painting away in a secret gallery. And it says, your gaze roams around the gloomy room, but you become more aware of some shapes. They stand together in a small group against the wall and stare at you with a fast beating heart. You approach. I guess that's fast beating heart. There's no hyphen, but anyway. With a fast beating heart, you approach and realise with the relief that they are not real. They are life-size mannequins. Although, I should say, who knows if elves have hearts and whether they beat. Perhaps I'm assuming things about elf anatomy here. Anyway, was someone putting together a family exhibition and got interrupted by the earthquake? Doesn't seem credible, does it? Wait a minute, you notice something and you look at the mannequins a little more closely. Oh yes, no doubt, someone did a great job there. Open door 7, behind which you will find 2 riddle cards, G1 and G2, and 7 strange items. Mannequins. Okay, so here's the calendar, and day 7 is here. So there being no time like the present. The Christmas present, lol. Let's open the door, sorry. Here we go. Put it on camera, my giant hand in the way. Or perhaps it's just a regular sized hand, but it looks big on the camera anyway. Oh my goodness, there is Munch's the Scream, or at least a line drawing version of it. And inside we are expecting, well, there were no mannequins, but I'm guessing they're made out of cardboard. Okay, we have an employee ID card. Now, you can get an employee ID card every day, so this must be the 7th one. His name is Zlatan Stik. Or Steek, I don't know, and he's a Department of Textiles, and he is, again, a department head. They've all been department heads. Let's get rid of that. We haven't needed them, so I'm assuming we don't need this today. And then there's a riddle card. Before I read that, let's see what these are. Oh, look, they are cardboard cutouts, and they've got little, well, they are ridged at the bottom in such a way it makes me think they're going to stick into something. Yeah, and I can feel that there are slots in the room, but we'll look at that properly in a moment. 7 standing straight and tall. How many actually are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 7. 7 standing straight and tall. Show the code you are looking for. If they're in the right position, they'll help you in your tricky mission. Code left, up, right. Ooh. All right. So we need to stick these in the room in these slots that we can see on the bottom, I guess. And somehow they'll reveal numbers, because each day, probably numbers, each day we need 3 numbers usually, which we put into our decoder, and they reveal directions to the next room, which we can check is correct using the shapes. So let's have a good look inside the rooms. So what have we got here? There's all those, oh my goodness, there's a lot of slots. There's not just 7. There are, I think that's the front there, yes. There are 16 slots on the floor at any rate. And then there are some portraits. There's the Yeti, I think was that on last year's calendar? There was the Yeti before, he's skateboard. Maybe a Yeti's one of the other Exit games, I get confused. A very large-eyed dog. The family portrait, which I think is the same one we just saw. So I think it is the same portrait. Yeah, I think it is. And then on the other walls, so on the right-hand wall, we've got a picture at the bottom left of last year's Exit the Game calendar box. At the bottom right, a 5-eyed monster. At the top left, some crazy doctor person, some top right, some crazy woman person. I'm only saying that because of the expressions and the numbers 4870. And there are 4 numbers there, and there are 4 rows. Okay, so look on the left-hand side. We've got 4 more numbers, 3291. And the picture at the top left, I think that's the Enchanted Forest exit box. And I don't know what the other pictures are. The bottom right one might possibly be from the first advent calendar, but I can't be sure. And what about the roof? Oh, look on the roof. The roof is got something hidden on it, sneakily. 06315876. Now, on any day, or any exit calendar, or any exit product, there's always a possibility you have to look elsewhere on the box, but I don't see that's likely today. I might be completely wrong. But I certainly am going to have to press these out, I think, because they're going to have to be stood in the room. If I put these in the right places in the room, presumably I am recreating the family portrait, maybe? Is that what I'm doing? Let's have a look. Could I recreate the family portrait? Are they in 4 rows? There are 4 rows of 4 in the room, and they are in 4 columns. So I have the column positions, but do I have the depth position? Well, sort of. Dog's in front of her, she's in front of him, and I think he's in front of her. If she overlaps her, just because her elbow sticks over her doesn't mean they're not in the same row. She may just be being slightly rude, and we've already heard they're rude, but if I assume that anyone obscuring part of anyone else is providing depth information, then perhaps I can lay them out in the room according to this picture. But once I've done that, how am I selecting numbers? Well, perhaps all will become clear once I've done it. Okay, so I've written what's in the room on this post-it in exactly the same order it is. So 06 is at the top on the inside here, and 76 is at the back. So where's my picture of the family? I think the dog is clearly at the front. So he is in the first position here. Now, let's hope that these don't fall out. In fact, I should probably start at the back, so that for reasons of physics, but reasons of my getting my hand in. So maybe this guy's at the back, actually, isn't he? He's clearly behind her. You can see that her arm's way in front of him. So I'm going to see if I can do it to match the picture. Right, so he's there. I mean, he's sort of pointing at something. They're all folding forward a bit. Well, that's just the way they are. I can't do much about that. Right, now I would say she's in front of him, she's in front of her, and then the dog's in front of all 3. So there's the sort of zigzag. So I can complete the zigzag with her and the old lady by putting them in here, there, right? And then the old lady in front of them again here. Right, so I've got that situation, which sort of matches the picture, but then she's in front of the old lady, clearly. So maybe this woman who's calling for a bus or something is in the front row, her, and then we can use the cat to work out that's behind her. That must put this one in the second row, right? Yeah, that's right. First row, second row, cat in the third row away from me, and back in the second row, but behind her. So he's in the second row, 1 back, 2 back, and she's in the first row. Right, so I've got here, him, in the same row as the old lady, and then the person calling for a lift in the front row again. Now the cat is one of the people to put in. Silly me. And the cat's in between them, right? Cat's in the third row. She's going to have to come out while I put the cat in. This is very fiddly, but the cat is now in. And the trouble is they don't want to stand up. They want to lean forwards. I don't know why. It's just the way the calendar's punched, I guess. And then she's in the front row. Right. So I have my... Let's try pushing them backwards and encourage them to stand up. Guess I can bend the cardboard a little. So is that my family portrait? There's a Pink song called Family Portrait. It's very good. But for some reason it's in my head now, but I can't really sing it. I think that's the same picture. I mean, it's just uncanny how identical they are, isn't it? But truthfully, is it correct? I think it's the same picture. And I don't know what else I'm doing if that isn't right. Well, they are clearly pointing at things. But he's pointing to a number to his left in his row. She's pointing, I don't know why I didn't see this immediately. She's pointing at the number above her. And someone else is pointing, but you can't see it in the picture. The man is pointing. He is in the 4th row and is therefore pointing at a 4. That's just right. He's pointing at this 4 at the back. And then she is in the front row pointing at the number above her, which is a 0 on the ceiling here. And the man here is in the 2nd row pointing at the number to his left, which is a, can you see this? I hope this is clear, a 2. Right, I was so focused on putting the people in place that I didn't pay attention to where I was getting the numbers from. I'm glad it turned out to be simple enough that I could solve it. 0, 2, 4. Now, do we have an order in for these? Oh, yes. It's on the card. It's pretty obvious. Left, up, right. Left, up, right. Okay, fine. So the left is 2, the up is 0, and the right is 4. So it's actually a lovely straightforward puzzle. 204 is our code for today. Let's see if that's correct. I mean, I feel confident, but you never know. I might have put the people in the wrong place. I don't think so, though. But the fact that they were all pointing at things, I mean, the left and right ones are guaranteed to point, but the one who's pointing up, if she's in the wrong row, then you won't have a number because they're only on a checkerboard pattern. Right, 204. Let's turn it over. So our day for today is here, day 7. And now for tomorrow, we should go down right to here, off the bottom of the calendar, down right. Off the bottom of the screen, I meant to say, not off the bottom of the calendar. That's wrong. Right to here, and then our last direction. Let me turn that light off. Our last direction is upright to here, and we should see star. It's just off screen, isn't it? Just star plus L, and we do, which means we have successfully identified where day 8 is, and that means we can write 8 on here. What a lovely puzzle! What a lovely puzzle! I thought that was going to be more complex than it was. It was actually pretty straightforward, but a lot of fun arranging those things in the room, and how nice that those little slots are punched. They're just so creative with these calendars. Just keep on coming with new ideas. I don't know how they do it, frankly, but I'm glad they do. So if you enjoyed that as much as I did, please do join me in tomorrow's video. It'll be lovely to have you here again. At the end of this video, there'll be some links to another advent calendar, another 2 advent calendars I'm solving this year, as well as several I've solved in previous years. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 8 other calendars that I've solved in previous years. So that's a whole 11 calendars, if my maths is up to scratch, that you can watch all 24 days on. In fact, some of them got a 25th day, if you're really keen, and a load of other exit game videos as well. So to that end, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It makes it easier to find my future videos, I hope. Also, please like and comment. Do comment. I love to read your comments. So thank you for commenting if you have so far. And if you haven't, then, well, maybe today's the day. But either way, I hope very much to see you in a future video, and until I do, all that remains for me to say is take care and goodbye.